Welcome to the another session of your Cloud Security Foundation course. So your we were continuing with your all offensive side right now. And first 3 days we have covered what is the pen testing, why it is necessary. We go with the info, so the different kind of these stages of all these kind of a thing. I know that what is the information gathering, what is going to be the your scanning. So this was something that what we were seeing yesterday. And now today we will be moving ahead from that, and bit of the part we have already seen yesterday as well. Okay, so we will be starting with the today's agenda. There is going to be the your enumeration introduction first of all. Okay, enumerations introduction. Then there will be the introduction to the Metasploit framework. We'll be talking about the enumerating different services using the Metasploit framework, then exploiting vulnerability to gain the access itself. So this is going to be the our today's agenda, what we are going to learn and how, we are going to go ahead and going to talk about the whole scenario over here. Now, we will be starting first of all with the your enumeration, that what is the enumeration. So yesterday we have already talked a bit about it. Okay, so let me just get us started with the enumeration introduction. So when we are talking about the enumeration introduction over here, so enumeration, if you will see here, is a process of network security that involves gathering information about a system or a network. So already bit of a thing we are already doing. So enumeration is the process of using different technique that can query a device or a service for information about configuration and resources. So already we start collecting some information. Okay. Now we are gonna go ahead and we are going to be we are gonna go ahead and we are going to be talking about the collecting more information now. Okay, so it is the very common step which you can say kind of a active, your way of interrogating, active way of engaging with your target means you are going ahead actively asking your, system, connecting with it, getting some result out of it. So that is going to be the active enumeration what we are talking about. So that is the first thing. The outcome of the, this whole thing will be you'll be having more information now. So what it will be doing, it will be helping you to identify, potential targets and vulnerability for the exploitation. So if, already we have a target inside, right, from the scanning. So what we are going to do, we are going to find that whether there is going to be some vulnerability. So remember when yesterday I was talking about something like banner grabbing. Okay, that was helping you to perform the enumeration. Now you were having what? You were having the particular your idea that what you want to gather over here. So there you have the particular idea that version, like open SSH 2.9 P2 I was talking about. I was showing the CVEs over there. So what could be potential vulnerability that is going to be in there, right? So what is happening? You can, what you can say, that when you were doing scanning and finding a target, when you connected with that particular, host, you can interrogate it for the more details that is going to reveal the additional attacking vectors for you. Okay, that is going to be the one thing. Now the output or outcome of this enumeration, they can often be used directly to exploit the system and penetrate deeper into the network. So that's why often enumeration, it can be done remotely, and although some enumeration can be done without the credentials as much. Okay, so it is usually much more successful if you can go and first log in and then do the enumeration. That will be giving you more detail. So in many cases, credential can be the part of, credential can be the that of an average user, not the privileged user, will be helpful for us to get more detail about your target. So the goal of enumeration is to create a detailed understanding of target network, including the hardware, software configuration, user account, security policies, all these kind of a thing. So when we talk about the techniques that perform enumeration can help you discover information, that is going to include some of the following, like operating system details. Okay, your network infrastructure detail, username of valid users. with that usernames and group, you can find something like what are the username and the groups as well, which group they belongs to. Okay, username, group, email address, contact information, password hash you can find, host name, domain name, IP address, some volume, shares, services, policies, audit setting, some configuration setting, routing the MAC, routing MAC, neighbor table, different your patch level, component driver, printer and print job, running processes, register key, a lot of things you can find out with the help of the your enumeration itself. So when we are talking about the target as well, so what will be the target for enumeration? Similar, say same as your scanning what we were doing. So what was those? Server, router, right? Switches, network services. So these all could be the part of it. And very first step yesterday we were talking about that was the banner grabbing. So from where, yesterday also I was reminding you that we are going to start somewhere with the banner grabbing first. So when you start with that banner grabbing, you are just going ahead and start to getting more detail. So we have found the first open port there. Once open port was discovered, next thing we were looking for was the your banner grabbing, means grabbing, running the more of the details and finding more idea over there that what should be in there. So you can do something like these kind of the tasks as well, gathering more and more, and then -sv version scan you were doing, that also you can do and run these kind of a things at multiple time over there. And there is a tool with the name Metasploit Framework which can obviously help you to go and do the enumeration itself over there. And many other tools are there for each service. If you want to enumerate, there is going to be the different tools as well. Now to do the this complete kind of from one place go ahead and do the whole enumeration for such kind of a thing, if you want, there is going to be the your Metasploit framework that can help you with the same thing. Okay, remember the virtual environment which we were using. My attacker machine is Kali and name of my target is Metasploit table 2. Do not confuse it with the Metasploit framework, please. Fair amount of warning. Okay, Metasploit table machine. Okay, that is Metasploit table 2. This is the framework that is in here. Now, what we are going to do in this one is, okay, so we'll be starting with the your Metasploit framework first of all. So in this one, oh, this is one thing. Again, I'm repeating this thing. This is Metasploit framework, which we will be using for enumeration and even for hacking as well. And the machine target machine name is Metasploitable 2. Okay, so the environment which we were working about yesterday, the Kali machine was attacker machine, Metasploitable 2 machine was the my target. And here today I will be talking about a framework which is known as the Metasploit framework itself. Okay, so many of you must have heard about the MSF or call the Metasploit framework over here. So Metasploit framework, if we talk about this thing, it is a multi-purpose computer security and pen testing framework. Okay, so it is intentionally modular and it allow attacker to mix and match scanners, exploit, payload into a single attack. Okay, and here when we're talking about the few same thing I have written, like Metasploit framework is a powerful open source tool for pen testing and vulnerability assessment over there. Now, originally it was created by the HD Moore. So if you'll be opening the book regarding these things, so you'll be finding out it was originally designed by the HD Moore over, I think in 2003 itself. Okay, for the security analysis. It was later acquired by the Rapid7. Okay, which added more you know more things over here like GUI based commercial version. And Metasploit is considered to be de facto exploit development framework, and it is used worldwide for both legitimate security analysis and unauthorized activity as well, right? And many people ask me that, right, why Rishabh we are having the tools like this if someone can, go ahead and simply, someone can go ahead and simply attack through the your such kind of a machine. So my answer is similar to that. If you will be looking into the defense of any country, right? What we use over there, guns, right? So these are the dual-edged weapons. So it can be used for protection. It can be used for the, defense and offense both. Similar here as well. So these kind of the tools are the same example that it can be used for the defense purpose and the attack purpose. Both kind of people can use it, right? So when we are talking about this is a bit idea regarding this. So Rapid7, they are by security professional and hacker for testing and computer system network. So same thing. Metasploit framework provide a range of tools and feature for identifying, exploiting, and testing vulnerability in the computer system or network. This was what we are talking about. Now, so, before I just jump in here and start talking about the Metasploit framework. So we have to see the more onto the enumeration part as well. Okay. So we haven't seen that yet. I'm just letting you get familiar with the first of all Metasploit framework. So when I will be launching it, there is going to be these things. What are the different modules? So at that point, I would like to discuss this with you. Okay. Right now, what we will be focusing more on the enumeration. So one way I will be telling you that how to do it. So let me just go back to my virtual machine environment. Okay, so let me just go in here. Uh, so what I will be doing, I am going to launch the command terminal over here. Okay, let me increase the size of this. Now, yesterday I did the scanning. Okay, but what I didn't save the output. And one of the important thing is to save the output. Okay, so usually to my candidates I give them the example like you are doing pen testing or anything, like one client is there, one project you are having. So simply what you need to do, go to do something like this, do cd. Okay, you will be doing the cd, like I always prefer this thing that go to the desktop. Okay, so I will go to the desktop. If you will see, I think I already created a file with the name, a folder with the name metasploitable2. Right? So I usually, if you by default you will be not having, so what you will be using command like mkdir and metasploitable2, right? So in there you will be going, and then once the directory is created, change to that directory, and then you will be running that whole scan. So if you remember from yesterday, there should be something like the, okay, look like it's not here. So what I was running yesterday, Nmap, then hyphen SS, hyphen P hyphen S capital V, hyphen O for full scan. And then I was doing something like what? Your all 65,536 scan I was scanning. Then I am going to do the operating system scan as well. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do something like your uh, target IP address 149. This is my target address, right? So I will let it run, but it will be next time I want to see this output, it will not be there. So what I will do, I will put a pipe in between, space, and use command like T. So whatever will be the output, it will be stored in the file name and map scan. Like this you can do. Now all the output from the first part before the pipe, whatever output. So yesterday we have seen the, you know, what I can say, if we are talking about if we are talking about that, whatever will be the output of first before the pipe, that will be stored with T command into the nmap scan file, right? So this is something that you can always do. There is always the option of doing something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, actually I'm not going to run it. I'm just going to run the simple command ls, okay, here to see, because there will be already some output from the nmap scan. Right? So let me do one thing. Three files are there. Let me remove few of them, like FTP enum, and let me remove the IRC scan. Okay, and clear it. Now, when we are talking about this thing over here, when we are talking about this thing over here, right? So same thing. When you will be running that output, it will be stored only one file is there. The command that I was about to run, like I was running yesterday, nmap scan. So at any point, I can simply go and read this thing. So not every time I need to run the whole scan, which was taking the good amount of time. So if you will see, this was the kind of the result which we were getting yesterday, right? So if you remember, was this one? Okay. So as this was the our output, this is helping us now, making this 100% sure that I don't need to run it again and again, right? It is just here. Now these many ports are open. And remember, I was telling you the Nmap alone is that much capable of going ahead and performing your enumeration for you. Okay, and for that I was just giving you a bit of a glimpse. So here you can see port number 21 is having the FTP running, 22 is having SSH running, port number 23 is having the telnet running, there is SMTP running on the 25. So if you will keep seeing these kind of a thing one after another, right? Java RMI on the 1099, right? NFS is also there. So a lot of things are being run over here right now. Hmm. I can, actually see that I can exploit a lot of the things over here. So, but yes, we are having all these things running. Lot of services are open. Now, what I'm going to do, remember yesterday, last thing that I was doing was something like locate and nmap slash scripts. Okay, and enter, right? So once you reach to this point, okay. So again, a message I'm seeing, your voice is not audible. If you know, guys, my voice is audible, you can let other people know that yes, it is good for you. Okay. So what we are talking about is list of the script. If you will see, there is VNC, there is going to be the who is related, XGMC, XMPP related. There will be SSL related, SSH related scripts. There are SNMP related scripts, SMTP related script, Samba related script. There are scripts a lot and lot and lot of scripts that are in here. Now this is too much, right? So for this we have the overwhelm response and map script. Now let's say first of all I have seen FTP port was open. So what I can do, I can only pick something like grep command and run FTP. Only pick those one which is having FTP over here. Yeah, FTP return. So we have the only specific output from this heap that where it is and how it is written over here. Now, okay, this will be your Lua, Lua. Lua language is used to create these scripts. Okay, Lua was used to create the different games and all as well. So this is those. And now what I have done, I have filtered it out. Only FTP related ones I want. And that's why I was saying that, Nmap is such a powerful tool that can do the n number of things. So here we are right now. We are having this Nmap over here. Now, out of these things, I know I have to run this against my target and let them, let find out that what they are doing. Now, each of a script will be having different purpose. Like there is going to be this FTP anon. Okay. So FTP anon is going to be your anonymous one. It will check whether anonymous login is allowed or not. Same, there is something like brute. So it will be doing brute forcing on the FTPs, right? With some default directory. Then there is going to be something like, your prof FTPD, FTP1, 1 CVE 2010 4221. So it will be checking whether it is vulnerable to the CVE 2010 4221 or not. So all these are the pre-written scripts that is there with the Nmap. So Nmap is already very much capable of enumerating your targets. Okay, so here we will go and we will try to enumerate. Okay, so there are these things, and when we will be going on to the Metasploit, you will be understanding that how much capable Metasploit framework is. So here right now we are seeing this thing. I will go ahead and right now guys, I can run all these things, but remember the target is going to be running with the very less capability, so it can crash sometime. So you might be getting not reachable, but then you need to restart the target as well. Okay, or after some of the brute force will be taking lot of time, making lot of throttle at the target, so it can crash the target as well. Okay, so because it's not a real life target, it's just the demo one. Although it will be good, but I will suggest that one by one, run them one by one. Do not kind of mix it just on a single go, a lot of one, or do not run all at once, right? Try to minimize it, that what need to be done one after another over here. So this is something that you can do. Now apart from this, what I am going to do is how to run this thing. So with the Nmap, obviously, right, the if the script is there, I need to go ahead and do the Nmap over here. Nmap, then on which port? FTP is running on the port number 21. So obviously that is that is going to be my target over there. Now I will be going on to the something like your hyphen p and hyphen script. Okay, remember when I was searching for the script, I was doing locate Nmap scripts. Now I'm running it as a command. I'm running it as the -p script. Now I have to choose the script which I want to run over here. So I can choose one by one. I can copy it, Control Shift C, Control Shift V here, and paste it. Right? So one of the your script I will be running over here, then going ahead, putting a oh, target, we haven't given the target 192.168.20.149, right? So this is something that what we were doing. Okay, now we have started with this. Next thing is I want to save its result. That's why I put that pipe in between. Same command T. So whatever will be the output of the first command will be passed to the second command. Pipe means you are passing it to the second command here after the pipe. So that is T, and give the name your FTP enumeration, right? So what it will do, it will be like rather than this enum is enough, FTP enum, right? So here I run one script which is going to check the anonymous FTP login. Similarly, when you guys will be going ahead and trying it out, you can try it out one by one by one. Just like right now, I'm just showing you with the one. Okay, I run this command and it is telling me that FTP anon, anonymous FTP login is allowed. Okay, so this is going to be here. So I am not, I haven't opened the Metasploit framework yet. Okay, I haven't opened it. So if you're following me from the very beginning, I'm inside the your folder in my local laptop, attackers machine, desktop, Metasploitable. Right, folder name I have given it to over here. Now with the 21 port open, it is telling me FTP and saying anonymous FTP login is allowed over here. Okay, so it is going to be like this. First is this. Second, I can run all of them at once as well if I want to. What I have to do, like this, wildcard. So if you notice, everyone is, everything is starting with FTP, FTP, FTP hyphen, and then anything. So I can made a script like this as well, so that only the, people of the year. Okay. So when we are talking about this thing, what is going to happen? We are going to go ahead, we're going to run this, and because all of them are having the same name starting with the FTP, they will be running all at once, right? They will be running all at once. So this is going to be the one thing. Now, this result will be stored here, but I will not recommend it to run all of them at together. It can crash that machine as well. So another thing or another option that you have is to use something like this first script that I copied and comma, and you can use 2 or 3 together. It should be fine. Like, okay, if you remember, if I will scroll up a bit, open FTP service was VSFTPD 2.3.4. So here, if I know it is a VSFTPD, so there is one backdoor check, VSFTPD, right? So I let me copy this from FTP to NSE. Do not copy the space after that because then it will start run the command. Then one more comma and this FTP vulnerabilities 2010, 2014. This, and these two, three script I want to run only, right? So if you want to run more, you can select them as well and enter. Okay, so it ran and it gave me some result. Okay, I keep these results aside. I keep these results aside. Okay, so I have these things. I have keep these results aside. Okay, good. You are saying that FTP login is an anonymous FTP login is allowed. You are also saying VSFTPD backdoor is vulnerable. This version, some results are here, and then exploit result is this. So what we should do after this, right? So we will keep it check now. So some of the things are there. I'm not going to go ahead and start exploiting these. I'm just keeping them aside, right? Knowingly, I'm doing that. This is for the port number 21. Now, similarly, there was one more port. If actually a lot of port that is open. So let me just pick up some randomly like this one. Unreal IRC service, which is running on this server. So what it mean? Again, I have to go ahead and again I have to search for the your particular, if I will search for the IRC, if I will show the files that is I'm connecting right now, you will see one is the Nmap scan and another is the FTP enum, right? Now in this one I'm gonna go and create a new file. So same thing, I start with the locate. Okay, now I am gonna go ahead with the something like the locate command and map command and script command, same command that we were running earlier. Now instead of the FTP, what I will do this time is write your IRC, grep IRC and enter. Okay, so here when I'm saying locate and map script grep IRC, I actually go ahead and got some of the script related to that. You can do the brute force, you can get information, enumeration. So here, if you have noticed, the output was something like this: anonymous FTP login allowed, backdoor is vulnerable. So now I have a whole treasure of knowledge that this version that my target was running was having some vulnerability. Good. Same. IRC channel is used by the botnets to communicate. So again, I can run this channel to know that whether I am part of the botnets or not. Then information, if you want to do, you can do that. Or already there is something like Unreal IRCD backdoor. Okay, so we have few things, up our sleeves. So what I'm going to do is same kind of thing like last time, and map. Port number was 6667. Now a script we will be writing, and a script is going to go with the your first backdoor I will be checking. Then IRC information. If there are any IRC server hosted, I want to know their names. Okay. Then there is going to be the IRC botnet channel. So these three I am trying right now. Now I will go and put a pipe, save this result with the IRC enumeration, right? And I will press enter over here, and okay, nothing I got. Okay, ideally I was hoping to get something, but instead we got nothing. So here 149 and enter. Right? So here, first thing we have the information on the IRC. There are two user, one server, two local user, local server 0, server name is this, version is this, uptime, source identity, source host, key, everything is kind of here. So details I'm getting that two things, one information is there, second is Unreal IRCD backdoor. It looked like that there is a Trojan version of Unreal IRCD. So two outcome out of those scripts I was getting. So this is the enumeration, finding more detail over here. More and more details over there is going to be the helping me out. Now, if you will see both the example that I used, whether it was the 21 or whether it was the your IRC 6667. Okay, so this one was on to the your public domain. What means when you can see this thing FTP services all the way out there. So FTP is more you will be seeing, and there is going to be the IRC as well. So usually whenever there is an IRC, the people say that verify that it is not being used by the botnet. Okay, because this is kind of the legacy protocol now. Okay, even FTP as well. We use the secure versions of the FTP, but now we have the idea that this target that we have the machine, it has the two vulnerabilities till now, 21 and your 6667. Now think about this. You have both. You have seen the two only because I was only looking for two and I got them, right? So here I knowingly just find them and give it like a list. I'm not going ahead and you know gonna exploit it. Why I'm doing this? Remember, first day of the offensive, I discuss and I ask a very simple difference between the your what is going to be the vulnerability analysis and what is going to be the pen testing. Now, right now that you are seeing in front of you over here. So this is something that vulnerability assessment tools they do. They will go ahead, they will give the assessment, they will assess thing, they will assess, tell you the which port is open, which services is running, and what you should do. Like here recommendation will be like kill or stop the service, right? So that kind of thing we will be doing. Now, pen testing will be when you will go one step further and verify it with the demonstration. Practically, you'll be saying that, okay, let's just prove that this is vulnerable. And that is going to be the your particular pen testing, right? So what is happening? So this is the difference. So VA and PT. Now it will be the battle or changing the whole things over here. So we have the your starting point and the ending points now. So two services having the some very good vulnerability they are claiming. Now what we will be doing, we will be jumping into the framework, Metasploit framework. Using that, remember I was saying that Metasploit is a very popular security and pen testing framework. So how to use it? So let me just minimize this, yeah, this was this, oh, here. Let me minimize this shell and let me just go jump into the another one. So in here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run something like msf console. So you'll be typing this command msf console and enter. So Metasploit framework is pre-installed in your system. Means in Kali Linux, Kali Linux Parrot OS, there it is pre-installed. And if you will see every time a new person will be opening this thing, so this figure will be changed. Like for me it is rabbit, you can be getting msf, you could be getting something like hacker, I love you, anything. Okay, so they have this different way of acknowledging it. So because there was once my student who got worried that Rishabh, I'm not getting the same thing as you, my Metasploit is different. So what they are doing, so you have to remember that this is kind of the your banner, and this is going to be changed every time, right? Follow the white rabbit, so reference from the matrix. Okay, so here you will see now what we have these things over here: 2049 exploit, 1108 auxiliary, 344 post, 562 payload, 45 encoder, 10 nops, and 7 evasion. Okay, so these things are going to be in there, and this is something which we were talking about, the your Metasploits module. So simply, I think earlier as well, when we were, prior to me, when I started the offensive, there was the people who were teaching you defensive. I'm 100% sure that there will be the terms which was used like the exploits, payloads, right? So what it means? It is similar to that. Exploit is referring to a specific software program or module that can take advantage of vulnerability in the target system. So it is a whole software program or a module which is can take advantage of the vulnerability against the target system. Means attacking software which is going to deliver a payload, right? So there is also going to be the second thing, the payloads. Okay, second thing I am showing you the payloads. Okay, so in the same format here, exploit and then the payloads. Okay, because I just use the term that exploit is an attacking software that is going to deliver a payload. Payload is actually the code that run remotely. So payload refers to the code or a software that is going to execute on the target system after a successful exploit over there. So that is going to be the actual code that is going to run onto the target. That is the your payload over there. Then there will be something like what we call auxiliaries. So when we are saying auxiliaries, they are what? They are going to be the scanner. Okay, their purpose is going to be like scanner, sniffer, and fuzzers, right? There is going to be the fuzzers, there is going to be the spoofers, okay? Fuzzers, spoofers, and other non-exploit framework and other non-exploit features, right? So means this is not going to help you to exploit. Okay. So when we are talking about this thing, exploits and all, right? So when we are talking about this thing, so exploit is going ahead and doing the attack and using it as well, right? Delivering the payload and actually helping you to get the access of the target. But auxiliary is for the purpose of enumeration, scanning. So for these kind of purpose, you will be using an auxiliaries, right? Then there is going to be the your post, right? Post means post exploitation. Additional task once with the help of exploit with the through the auxiliary you will be finding some vulnerability, then through the exploit and payload you will be delivering the payload, you will be compromising system, delivering a payload. Now what you want to do after that, you got the access of a device, now what you want to do? Okay, post will be the additional task that you can perform on that compromised devices. So it is a type of a module that used after an attacker has successfully gained the access to the target system. Like I can start a service over there. Okay, I can run a kind of a malware, or let's say a remote connection one or backdoor I can create. Now run it as the legitimate service, right? Change its name, legitimate service. Okay, and then registered it, change the registry and store it over there as well, so that even after reboot it can still work. So this kind of the task is after you got the access of the system, then you are making these changes on the system. So to doing that, post will be helping you, right? What after the successful access, right? That will be the post task. Now, then there is going to be the encoder. Encoder, it makes sure that your payload, it make it to its destination intact and undetected in simple terms, right? So, the official definition you will be seeing here, but in simple language, one liner, it makes sure that your payload, it make it to the destination intact and undetected. So encoder is a type of a module that is used to modify the appearance of an exploit or a payload in order to evade detection by any antivirus software or even the intrusion detection system IDS. So this is going to be your encoder. Then there is going to be something like your NOPS, no operation. Okay, so in again one liner, if we'll keep my payload size consistent across exploit attempts, right? So it should not be the thing that I'm trying to exploit and my payload size it keep increasing one after another, because then it will become detectable. So the work of the knobs is to keep payload size consistent across exploit attempts. So it is the instruction or sequence is a type of assembly language instruction that perform no operation or effect, right? But I was explaining it into the simple language. Then last one that is recently added with the new some updates, that is going to be the evasion. So evasion, it refer to the practice of modifying an exploit or a payload in order to avoid detection mitigation by the security defense on the target system. So these are the some of the modules that is going to be in the your Metasploit. And usually why I'm saying module, why it is important, like if I am using exploit, it will be something like this: exploit. Then what is the target platform, like Windows? Okay. Then there is going to be the your uh, which target service, like Samba service. Okay, and then module name, right? So this will be like service. This is going to be like target platform. This is going to be my module. Okay, so this is the one thing. So again, who is asking for knobs? Knob size is like my payload that I was dropping with the exploit. It should reach to my target intact and without an intact and your without sorry, that was the encoder I was saying. My bad. Knobs is keeping the payload size consistent across all the exploit attempts. So when exploit is try to change anything, right, a method, a software, do anything, I have to make sure the payload size is not increasing, right? With each attempt, you keep adding some data to it. No, It should be consistent. So that's why I'm using the knobs. Okay, that is the reason behind it. Else if its size keep getting increased, it might get detected. Okay, so this is the one thing. Now, this is the simply the module, how we will be seeing things and all these kind of a thing. So we'll be seeing those kind of thing. And very first thing that I want to talk about this here is it will be very much simple. Using Metasploit framework is very simple. Now, when we are talking about this thing, this is going to be like, your one thing that is in there. And in this one, I'm going to talk about how to use it in very simple thing. Like if you are talking about SQL, or you will be talking about your, what I would say, SQL or English language, right? It will be similar to that. Like simply, you can go with this something like search. Okay. Now after the search, whatever I want to search, I can just go with that thing. Okay. Like if you guys remember WannaCry, it happened due to the eternal blue, right? So the vulnerability name was eternal blue, eternal sunshine, eternal romance, that kind of a thing. So what if I would like to search about this something like eternal blue? Okay, search eternal blue. Okay, now type also I can mention if you want, generally if I'll be going with this something like eternal blue, only this thing. No search result for the eternal blue. Okay. Nothing. Search eternal. Oh, spelling mistake. Okay. Eternal. Eternal blue. And enter. Right. So this is going to be in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and here you can see exploit window Samba MS10 eternal blue. So something related to eternal blues are popping up over here. So some of them are auxiliaries. Some of them are exploits, right? So these things are just here. Now what I can do is same thing I can do again, search. Okay. Then I can make it like your eternal blue, search eternal blue. Then I can go ahead and I can specify the types as well. Type what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any exploit which is with the name eternal blue, right? So when you do this thing, you get two over here. Okay, few more as well because there was the eternal romance name as well given to this one. So it is just like that. I did something very simple thing, search this one. Like if you have done the VNC connection anytime, right? If you have used the VNC connections, so there will be something like Windows related VNC. Okay, or I can search something like search Windows or MS SQL. Okay, again, so something related to this. Am I having something like this over here or not? This is okay. So this is just like that. So a lot of these things are there. Again, I can make sure that what I want an exploit. No, voice was not breaking. I was on the mute, guys. Okay, so here Windows. Then I am just going to be just wait for this one. So exploits only I'm getting. So types I can type it over here. MS SQL related whole thing will be jumping at once. So you can search for the anything that you want. Now this is something that what you are using over here. Okay, so on these kind of a things, what I'm going to do is I'm at the MS5 Metasploit framework over here. So this is the one thing that what we should be knowing, that it is very easy to use like this, because whenever we'll be going ahead and seeing few more things, it will be making these kind of a changes as well. Now before we start using it properly, there are the different editions of your Metasploit itself. So when we are talking about this thing, so there are the different of the Metasploit editions that come into the picture. Okay, so in here what is happening, we will be starting with this something like your Metasploit framework first of all. Then there is Metasploit community. there is Metasploit Express and then Metasploit Pro. Okay, four things are there. So first is the framework. So it is free open source command line version, which is generally you are seeing installed by default in the Kali Linux, right? So this is what we are dealing with. Your framework, Metasploit framework, free open source command line version, which is installed in the by default in the Kali Linux Parrot OS itself. Then there is going to be the Metasploit community, a free 1 year license. Okay, limited functional version of the there is a pro, so some limited version of the or features of the pro will be given with the community over there, right? So it will be having a free 1 year license, some limited functionality version of the your pro, it will be there, the community edition. Then there is Metasploit Express, which is simplified commercial edition for security professional who want to validate the vulnerabilities. So if you want to just validate the vulnerability, that is going to be the Express. And then there is going to be the Pro over here. So Pro is going to need it with the a full feature graphical version that is going to include quick start wizard, easy vulnerability scanning, validation, phishing campaign, reporting, everything to generate reports, phishing campaign, run the phishing campaign from here. So a lot of things can be done via the your Metasploit Pro itself. So we have seen this kind of a things over there. And if I will be talking about the one more thing, that is going to be the architecture of Metasploit over here. So this is something like your Metasploit's architecture over here, which we are generally we generally see over there. So Metasploit framework, it has modular architecture, and the exploit, payload, encoder, they are so on, and they are considered to be a separate module over here, right? So these are the modules that we were seeing few seconds ago, right? Now you can see we are having the CLI, GUI, consoles, web, these kind of ways of going ahead and accessing over here. Now, what Metasploit it use different library, just like any other application that you will be having. It is also using the library that is holding the key that how this whole infrastructure framework will be properly function. So these libraries, they are collection of predefined tasks, operation, and function which can be utilized by the different modules of the framework over here. So the most fundamental part of the framework is the Rex. Okay, Rex. So Rex is your Ruby extension. Ruby extension. Okay, so this is the Ruby extension library. So some of the component provided by the Rex, it include like wrapper socket subsystem, implementation of protocol client, so protocol client and server, logging subsystem, or exploitation utility classes, number of different classes that is going to be defined over here. Okay, so Rex, it is itself designed to have no dependency other than what comes with the default Ruby installation. So all the dependency of the Ruby installation that is default, that is going to be with this Rex library, right? Then you are going to have the Metasploit framework core, which is going to extend the Rex, right? So it is responsible for implementing all of the required interfaces. Okay, all of the required interfaces that allow interacting with the exploit module over here, right? So that is going to be there. So all these things that allowing you to interact with the exploit module session and even plugins. Then there is going to be the that this is the core library, and it is this core library is extended by this base library, okay, which is designed to provide simple wrapper routine for dealing with the framework core, as well as providing utility classes for dealing with the different aspect of framework, such as serializing any module, okay, output format, and all these kind of a thing. And finally, the base library, it is extended by the framework's user interface. So these different things, the interfaces, this is extended by the your interfaces. So it implement the support of the different type to UI, that how it should be working. You'll be sending the command, how it should be interacting. So these kind of things are going to be in there, right? Just to give you the idea that how the architecture of the Metasploit it goes, it is going to be in there. Now, you know, the same Metasploit, it can also be used to perform your more of the enumeration itself. So like directly I can show you some of the screenshots I have put in over here. Okay, so one enumeration I have already done with the Nmap. I can do this with the over, remember there was the what was those auxiliaries, right? So auxiliaries is going to be over the place, same place. So when I'm talking about the auxiliaries, auxiliaries are going to be helping you to exploit the things. Okay, so again guys, I keep saying that people are asking Nop. I explained the Nop. So Nop's work is make sure my payload size is not increasing when you are dropping that and exploit is dropping onto the your particular you know exploit is being dropped and trying the different way of finding a way inside the your system. So while it is making those attempts during that time, payload size and things the contain code doesn't change, right? It doesn't increase its size, so it will be kind of fixing that. Okay, so that's the one thing. Now then there is going to be the you know uh, okay, enumerating different services, that is going to be over here. Now there is going to be the your first of all, we have the Metasploit framework, like you can see. Uh, we are going ahead and enumerating SMTP services. So if you want to do that, you can find SMTP enum module, okay, in the in the auxiliaries. So search for the something like SMTP enum, and then I will be showing you that why this is happening. So usually how you'll be going ahead, like if I have to show you this thing, how it generally happens is you want to enumerate. Okay, let me just go ahead and type something like uh, let me do one thing. Let me minimize this one. Let me make it full screen. Great. Okay. So I will be running something like your search SMTP enum, right? Something like this. Okay. I think I give the too much space in between. No space. So I'll be simply going with the SMTP enum over here. Okay. Wrong results. Okay. That should be, I think, if it is not this one, then I think it is going to be the SMTP your underscore enum, right? Because it gave me 222 options. I can't search it from here. So there is going to be the search SMTP underscore enum, right? So first I want to show you this thing. So here you go, you find one auxiliary with the name SMTP enum over here. Now, what I'm going to do is there is going to be the, once you will be going with the SMTP enum, I can simply either type like this, use, and then copy this whole name till the end. Okay. Two ways I will be showing you. First, let me just copy paste this. I'm saying use and the copy this whole name and press enter. Now you will see your prompt has changed to this scanner SMTP enum, right? So means now I'm going to use this auxiliary. So first of all, just like using the English language, I'm gonna go and say show options. Okay, so it will show me the option. So I will see here R host, R port, right? These kind of a thing. So rest is, thread is there and rest is set. R host is empty. Okay. So when we are talking about these scenarios, the R host and L host, so what are these things? Just to give you the idea. So when I'm talking about this thing, there is going to be the things like R host, R port. R means remote, remote host, remote port. that is going to be your remote, means your target. Okay, L host, L port. Okay, local host, local port means usually it means listener, right? This is going to be the listener over here, means your usually for the local host means your attacker. Okay, attackers machines. So this is the attacker's machine. Okay, host, which port of the attacker you want to use, sorry, remote, which of the target host and which of the target port you want to use, which of the target host port you want to use. Similarly, there will be, if you will be having sometimes some SMB based services, so there is going to be like SMB user you can define. In SSH we define something like username. So similar to these kind of a things over there. Okay, so L host, as I was saying, L means attacker, so attacker's machine. L port, attackers port, right? Which port attacker is using. So same as that. So you'll be seeing these things practically, don't worry. Okay, let me just go back over here to this part. Right. So you can see right now your R host means what is my target? It is not set. So I will say something like set R host and 192.168.20.149 and enter. And you will see now again, you want to cross verify, you can again go with the show option. And this time you will see your R host is set. Now, once your R host is set, you can simply type run and it will start running the scanner. This is scanner. So you will see it grab a banner from there. Okay. So we are doing what? Enumeration. Okay. I hope it will be giving me more detail. Yeah. So it is just running. So while it is running, giving me some results, let us go back and you can see SMTP. So it will be going ahead and going ahead and you will be going with this thing. You'll connecting and it will be trying to give you the mail server if there will be one, using the word list to enumerate what could be the users and all those kind of things over there, right? So SMTP enum, when you will do, you will be running this thing. So it will be like this one. And possible username, it is right now running a brute force. If you'll see, it will use a word list to enumerate which user that are present on the remote system, right? So finding those idea over there. So right now it is doing brute forcing. That's why it is taking its time, and it will give you some results like these. Okay. When it is 100% complete, it will be showing you a results like these over here. Okay. You will be having the SMTP. Okay. So it is already happening over in the backend. Now, we are enumerating, apart from this, if you want to do the net BIOS, you can search the auxiliary like NB name, net BIOS, NB name, and what it will do, it will be, it will be scanning the range of the host and determine the host name via the, what are the host name by the net BIOS service over there. So this is it. So it is, doing what? Enumeration, finding you the version, grabbing banners, what user could be there, giving you the more idea over there, more details over there, right? So you will keep seeing this thing, that this one through the, and net BIOS, you set this one, set R host, set thread, run it, and you will be getting the, like these names over there, right? In the Metasploitable server, if it is hosting NBT stat and all these things. So this is one another thing that you can also try by yourself as well. Okay. So, I'm just showing you first, I'm just showing you the slides all together, and then I will be just showing you some different ones as well. Now, even I can enumerate the SSH through the Metasploitable. I can use SSH login auxiliary module and we can scan the whole IP address and can do the, uh, to do the login attempt via the SSH, either via the provided password or a word list. Means two ways are there. Either if you are already familiar with the some username, which is not the admin or root, right? A normal username and password as well. You can provide them as well. Or if you have a list of the username and password, so you can provide them as well. So, you'll be seeing the option like either you have the username or user pass file. Okay, similarly for password as well, password or pass file. If you have that, you can store them and it will be going ahead and try to find out that what could be the username over there. Okay, so this is something that you can do. And that this will be the one you will be going have setting up all things. You will be running thing with everything ready to go. We run the module. When a valid credential pair found, we are presented with the shell code on the remote machine over there. So you can see this is the whole testing out kind of a thing, though they are trying the different combination of the username and password over there. So this is can be also completed over there if you are providing the username and password over there. So this is just few examples that I was showing you over here that can be used at the particular time. So if I go back to my machine, right? So here that auxiliary now has complete its run and it is giving me some idea output over here that first it found a banner. So banner grabbing also it is doing for enumeration. Then it found some user for us like backup, bin, daemon, all these whole list over here, right? So it scanned this whole list and it is completed. It is what it is showing, right? So enumeration is finding more information on that specific services. So this is what we are completing over here or achieving over here, right? So this is the one thing. Now, not only this, I can go ahead and do something like your, okay, let's just do some fun. Let me clear all this and let me just click on back. So if I have to come out of this auxiliary that I have selected, I will simply type back. Okay, now I can do something like search again and I can search for the VNC underscore login. Okay, and enter. So there is one auxiliary popping up with the VNC login. I can see what I need to do. Use. Last time I did what? Copy the whole auxiliary name and paste it here. This time I will be smart using this number over here. Use 0. Enter. So my prompt, it has been changed to the scanner, right? I'm having it over here. Simply I will say, show me your options, what I need to enter over here. Okay, so obviously the from whole list you will be seeing there will be R host which will be empty. Okay, so what you need to do, set R host means your target dot 20.149 and enter. Okay, if you want to verify, you can verify this again by show option again, and if not, I can simply type run and enter. Okay, so what it did, if anyone noticed what it has done, it was saying no active data, but it gave me something like login successful password. Actually, it is giving you the password. It has find the password for the VNC. Okay, so if you will see VNC password, password is password. Okay, it has find the password for you already for the VNC. So if what I will do, I will open a new tab, new shell connection over here. Let me minimize this as well. And the third one, this is the one. Okay, so if you are familiar, you have used the VNC viewer anytime. So you will be familiar over here. So what I'm going to do, VNC viewer and the target's IP address 20.149, right? Enter. So it is asking me password for the VNC. So password was password. I type that password, so and press enter. And you will see that this is the remote access of the machine that I am getting. Okay. remote access of my machine that I'm getting over here. Debian based Ubuntu workspace 2, visible auto hide, maximize layer alpha. Okay, so let me go to the one workspace 1, 4. Okay, there should be something like, okay, so time is there. There should be, okay, so what I got the access of this machine. Although this was not my intention to show the directly the connection of the machine, but yeah, while we are with this one, why can't we see this thing? So you can see the machine because I can't do a lot inside the your Metasploit table. It is just for the testing purpose. So yeah, we will be having something like this running over here, right? So I can use it like this purpose as well. It's just up to us that how we are using the different scanners and everything that was popped here, right? So yes, because this is the default, and why it happened so quickly was this is just for the practice purpose, right? So this is something that is happening right now. Now, if you want that SSH login kind of a thing which we were talking about, so we can use for the same thing. So what I can do is I can just simply go ahead and okay, so we can see SSH login. So same thing. Again, let me just do the clear the screen, do something like search. Oh, before that, because I am inside the scanner right now, VNC. So I have to type back first, then search SSH underscore login. Now there are two auxiliaries. I'm gonna use first one, SSH login. So use 0, enter. My auxiliary changed quickly, right? So once my auxiliary it changed over here, so what is going to happen? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to write something like here. Uh, one thing. Let's log in. Show options. Again, its show option is same that was in the screenshot. Password file. I am not going to use file. Okay, I will be directly using the username and password. If you will notice in the your here in the Metasploitable machine, you will be seeing that in there second last line is mentioning the login with the MSF admin, already giving you the username password over here, right? So yeah, so I will be using these things in the simplest term possible, right? So as you can see here, I have both option available. Either I can go or I can give a password file or directly a password, even a normal username password you can have. So this is something that what we are going to do, and with that R host as well. So first let me set the R host 192.168.20.149. Then set L hosts. Oh, what I'm saying, no need of L host password or username, right? Username. Okay, we'll be going with the username MSF admin. Set password MSF admin. So it is already written on the screen. So we are gonna go ahead and work with this. So MSF admin username password as well. All these things are set. Then what needs to done? To run. So you will see, go here and you will be finding what? Successful. MSF admin was logged in, and then your user ID of this is 1000, group ID is 1000, group is 4. Then apart from that, it also gave us other users running on this system, other groups here, all the details over here. Okay, so this is giving us all other users present over here or the groups also that is in there. So this is working in that particular purpose to give you the more idea that what can be worked over that particular part. So this is something that what we are having. port scan slash TCP. So there is this auxiliary direct. I'm gonna go ahead and use 0. Okay, first one. Once I have find this thing, you'll be again checking its help, right? Show option, show options. So concurrency is set to 10. If you want to change it, I can change it to the 50. The number of concurrent port to check per host. How many ports per host concurrently you want to check. So I will increase it so that my output is fast. You need to mention how many ports you want to access, all these kind of a things, right? So for you, it might not be set. For me, it is already set. Okay. So what I have to do, I will be going ahead and typing things like the set concurrency, first of all, concurrency, and that is going to be like 50 ports you can check concurrently. Then there is going to be your, once this is it, after this, we are going to do and go with the set our hosts. Yeah, our host. That is 192.168.20.149. Okay. Then also the ports as well, like uh, set, my bad. Set your ports. And then is going to be your between 1 to, let's say, 20,000. I want to investigate. So I will go with this, and my ports are also set. Now simply you need to do one thing, run. So it will keep going on and concurrently keep giving you the output, which port is open. 21 is open, 22 is open, 23 is open, 5, 53, 139, 111, right? Like this. You keep getting the idea over here. So, auxiliaries, they are being used as to, way of scanning, helping you with the enumeration. So all these purpose of the auxiliaries you'll be seeing over here. Now, simply, if you are running some Samba services over there, let's check that for that as well. Okay. So check for the Samba services over here. So again, we will do search, and this time we'll be looking for something like SMB underscore enum share. Okay. So there is one with the enum shares, and that is this auxiliary. If Samba services is running, we are going to say use 0, enter, and it's changed. Okay, and I forgot to type the your back over here. So luckily it gave us this right result which I wanted to change the scanner. So here, so always follow a practice of typing the back, right? So this is something that what we are having over there. So once it is there, what I'm going to do, I have searched this thing, and then again same thing, show option. So in this one, we don't need to set lot of thing. So we'll be setting the our host only like this. Set our host 192.168.20.149 and enter. And it is set. And then simply type run. Right? So already, because there is no other your Samba users names or anything that was running, that's why it is just given me no result. But this is how you'll be executing different services over here. Now this is the one part that we have seen, right? That your auxiliaries are being used for the multiple purpose enumerating through the your Metasploit file itself. Now next thing that we are going to do is going to be the exploiting vulnerability to gain the access over here. So this is the next thing that what we want to do over here. So you want to exploit whatever port you can do that. Like already I am having some results from the past scans, right? So I can use them as well, and something new as well directly. So it's just up to us that how we want to use it. So now we'll be starting with this something like your get doing the your or compromising the system or gaining the access through the Metasploit framework. So for this, if I will minimize this one, go to this one, the second tab. So if you remember some results I was collecting, right? So from here, if you see, okay, two things were happening here. First, it was saying anonymous FTP login is allowed. So if you are familiar with this, it is nothing. So I haven't done the pen testing yet. So from this point, pen testing will be starting. So anonymous FTP login, I read that one. What it means, if you type username anonymous and leave the password empty and try to log in, it will allow you the login. Okay, it's a default login one. So check that one out. So what I can do is simply, I can write something like FTP dot 149 and enter this thing over here. Now in this particular part, I will be going ahead and simply typing the name of name here. So it will be like anonymous and password is nothing empty and enter. FTP is going to be like your FTP is going to be now here. I'm inside the FTP login successful, but this is not a very interactive one. If you do anything, you will be getting nothing over here, right? Not seeing anything. So simply I will type exit. So this is when I am doing this. So actually Anonymous allowed me to log in. So this is my pen testing that I am doing, right? So this is something that what I am doing now. So when I start reading those results and work with them. So again, it was saying VSFTPD backdoor was there. So why not I go back to my Metasploit framework and type back. Okay, now here search for the something like VSFTPD here, and I directly got the exploit, not the auxiliaries anymore. I am onto the exploit now. So what to do? I will be going from here and talking about use 0 enter. Okay, use 0 and then enter. And it was saying this is very important thing. For this exploit, there was no payload that was configured. That's why it is defaulting to the CMD Unix interact. Okay, at this point. So it is telling you that what it is doing over here. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and you know it has already changed to the default payload. That's good. Simply show options. When you see, you go ahead and you check this something like show options. There is going to be the R host which is not set yet. Okay, and this is something we keep seeing from the long time. So set R host and your 12.168.20.149, right? And again, I will do show options, verify this. My target is set port, obviously, because it is FTP based, right? It is FTP based vulnerability, automatically port number is 21. So we are at this point. What we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and we are going to do, you're clearing this whole thing. So I will be going ahead and starting with this something like, okay, this is done. Clear as well. Cool. So simply either run or exploit. This time also you can type either run or exploit, whatever you mean, you want to type. So I type run, it run and it is saying no session is created. So why is that? Let me check sessions. Okay, there is the one session, right, which is running. So let me just check that whether it put it into the background or something like that. So sessions hyphen I, which one? ID is one. Its ID is one. So I will be using it. Okay, usually it should be directly creating the one for you. starting the interaction with 1. Okay, and let's just wait. Hmm. Okay, I'm typing the commands over here. So this is the shell that I'm getting. So I type something like who am I? It is saying you are the MSF admin. Okay, this is for the another one. From yeah, port number SSH where we are connected through the 133. I think this is the last one that what we were doing. When SSH one which we were doing, I think it is for that. Okay, I think it has been opened for that. But no session was created. Oh, I forgot to read this one. Exploit completed, but no session was created. Okay, this can happen sometime. So I will say exit. Okay, so I will exit it from here. So I came back to my, VSFTPD backdoor over here. So it is doing something like this. And sometimes this happen, guys, what you need to do, because this is happening due to your bit of this Metasploit being down sometimes. So I will be restarting the guest. Just a minute. Okay, this is here. Okay, come back, right? So this is the, my target over here. So now what is going to happen is we are here, and at this point, we are gonna go ahead and again run this. Again, I'm checking the options, my options, show options. It is already set. And again, I will do the run. And this time, if you will notice, it is telling me command shell to open, right? This time my session has been created and I can do something like who am I? So it is going to tell me you are the root user. Okay. Then what is happening with this one? If I want to check where I am, which machine, uname -a. So you can see I am inside the Linux Metasploitable 2.6 server this, general this, all these kind of thing, right? So it is telling me that where I am on the Metasploitable machine. So means my exploit, it work wonderfully, right? So now if I want to do something like uh, pwd present working directory, I'm in the root. So ls-l, I was in the file system. Now I want to go to root or anywhere. I am allowed to do anything. cd your root. As why? Because I was the root user, if you remember. I am here. Even you can check the ID. You are the root user, guys. UID 0, group ID 0, that's here. Okay. So you are already the part of this. Now, simply because my task is done, I wanted to show you this. I will go and exit from here. Okay. One thing. Second thing, either I can do with something like this, or if you remember when I was reading this whole, uh, let me do one thing. Let me just minimize this. Let me come back here. And in this one, I will be again reading that Nmap scan result. So if you remember on 1099, there is Java RMI running, right? So, this is something that I have seen multiple exploits as well. So why don't I go back onto the Metasploit and type back, first of all, back and clear. Then again, I will do something like your search your Java underscore RMI underscore server. Okay, search for something like this. So you'll be finding two things. If you want auxiliary, you can use auxiliary, and I will directly show you the exploit now. So simply use one. Okay. Now in here again, you can check out the whole thing like show option. There will be the R host which is not going to set. Okay. L host, L port, everything is set. Okay. If you want to change them, it's up to you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the R hosts. That would be 192.168.20.149 over here and enter. Our host is set, and what I will do run. So it is saying it run the RMI and it is telling you the Metapreter session 3, it is opened. Oh, and this happened multiple time with this Java RMI that you will see exploit failed, runtime error. Okay, so runtime error it happened, no issue. It already opened a session 3 for me before that, if you will see. So again, I will do sessions. It will show me how many sessions are running right now. So number 3 is running, which is the Metapreter one. Okay, so I will go and I will simply go and do the something like sessions hyphen I 3. Right, starting the session, and now it has opened the Metapreter shell for me. Okay, so this is the category of a shell which is only being seen with your Metapreter only. Okay, so this is only being seen with your Metapreter only. So when we talk about this, Metapreter is a Metasploit attack payload which provide the interactive shell from which attacker they can explore the target machine and they can execute the code. So this Metapreter is deployed using the DLL injection. Okay, so DLL injection, when we talk about this, Metapreter is deployed using, in-memory DLL injection. So the result of this is the Metapreter, it will be reside entirely into the in-memory and write nothing to the disk. So no new process are created as Metapreter. It inject itself to the compromise process. So this is a Metapreter shell that is going to be in there, which attacker will be using, which is doing what? In simple term, giving you the access of the target. So this is different from the normal shells. So here you have to run different command like sysinfo. You can run sysinfo, enter. It will give you the information that which computer you are, which operating system you are, version, all these kind of thing will be here. So this is going to be the Metapreter. Some commands will be same, like present working directory. Okay, like doing ls hyphen l. Okay, like this. If you want to see what uh, you know processes are running over there, you can run the ps command. So these are the processes that is running on my Metasploit here, Metasploitable 2. Okay, machine, target machine. So this kind of command again we can use. So let me do the exit and I will be back from that Metapreter and I can type something like back as well. Okay, so this is how you can exploit things over here again. Okay, Metapreter is nothing but a shell which is giving you the reverse shell connection that you need to understand for now. Okay, I'm not going to take you very much deep. I was just trying to give you the idea for the people who is already familiar with these terms. So simply Metapreter is giving you the connection over here. It is a shell through which you can query your target. Okay, so this is here what we were using. Okay, and one last thing what I can tell you about this is so prior to this, there was this IRC also we scan. So this thing, if someone wants to try, you can try at your own time when you are free. So, IRC was giving me something like Unreal IRCD backdoor. But one very important thing I will tell you over here, and related to this Metaspreader as well, that if I will come back and make it clear and simply search for that Unreal IRCD over here. So what I'm getting this Unreal IRCD 3.2.8.1. Okay, this is something that I am getting over here. A backdoor command execution at this point. Okay, so I will go ahead and I will type like use 0 over here and enter, right? I'm there inside this one. Now again, same thing. But if you notice, last time there was a line which is saying no payload configure going for the default, but this time there is no such option. That means no payload is selected yet. So what you will do, you will go with this something like show payloads. Okay. So what it will do, it will be showing the, compatible payload with this exploit. Okay. So you can do that. You can go with this something like set your payload and which one? Anyone you can use, like this one you want to use, you would want to use this one, so you can go with this one, right? So I'm using this one, like for example, set payload and this one. And then you need to go and check the options, show options. So you need to set R host, L host. Okay, so you will do that, you will run it, you will get the session, and you will work with it, right? So this is how generally it works. Okay, so this is the bit of the information about the Metapreter itself over there.